Yeah, it's been a little bit of a disaster, to be honest. But I woke up the next morning and I still had the guilt, but I also had like doubt, like, can I really do this? What is up, guys? 6 weeks left to the competition. It is getting really close. It has been a struggle with the diet the last few days, and I'm going to tell you all about it during this video. We're going to take the dog for a quick walk here. We're going to get some breakfast and head off to the gym, drop my daughter off, and I will tell you, yeah, it's been a little bit of a disaster, to be honest, but I'll tell you all about it in a minute. Okay guys, so we just dropped my daughter off. We're heading to the gym, and let me tell you what has been going on. And I may not have the best energy today. I'm a little bit blah, you could call it. And the reason for it was last week we were invited to go to Topgolf to meet some family. And so I packed my food, and just in case they were gonna eat, I left it in the car. And to my surprise, my wife threw a 50th surprise birthday party. And it was amazing, and I want to thank her for that. It was a beautiful time, and I know it took her a ton of effort and time and planning to do this, and I had no idea. And I'm going to put up some videos of that now, and maybe some pictures. So nevertheless, the meal never came out of the car, and I ate cake. Once I put the cake in my mouth, I was going to take one bite of it. I ate a huge piece. Even my buddy Scott, who is my gym partner, he couldn't believe that I was eating that much cake. But that was fine. I have to check in with my coach every night. So I told him, he said, just get back on track tomorrow, which I did. But that was strike one. But the biggest one was a few days later, there are two other family members that are celebrating birthdays this week. So we had a dinner at Chima in Fort Lauderdale, a Brazilian steakhouse, which was really good. And I'll put up some photos of that as well. So I planned for this one. I thought I planned for it. I left a lot of calories that I could eat, and it didn't go as planned, because once I started, I just couldn't stop. It got ugly quick. After 10, 11 hours, I couldn't bring a scale. So obviously I was going to eyeball everything. And so my numbers were going to be way off. But I thought it would be somewhat, acceptable. But after 10, 12, 13 ounces of steak, and I just kept on going from there, and 4 cups of rice, my stomach started to kill me. And it was hard for me to stop. And after that, driving home, like, I felt guilty. Like, I know I had to check in with my coach. I had to tell him. I felt guilty about it, and did I let him down? Did I let myself down? And I woke up the next morning and I still had the guilt, but I also had like doubt, like, can I really do this? I couldn't control myself for 2 events, and can I really do this? Is this the right time? Is this for me? And what I've realized in this, if you want to call it a sport competition, is that it's a real selfish thing, because you have to say no to certain things, and people kind of just don't really understand that too, which they shouldn't have to. But it's been a rough few days since. The scale went from, I was at 191 all the way to 197 from those 2 days, and yes, it's come down slightly, a couple pounds, but I feel like I've taken huge steps backwards. So the energy hasn't been that good. So I'm heading to the gym now, hopefully change that energy. I did get right back on the diet yesterday and the day before that. So things are starting to head back in the right direction, but let's get to the gym. Let's try to change this negative energy that I have right now. And I will check in with you in a little while to let you know how it's going. All right, leaving the gym, guys, and feeling a lot better. It's funny how the gym, you always feel better after a workout, but we're gonna head home. That was the first workout of today. My daughter has volleyball twice a week, and it's about 45 minutes away. So on those days, I will drop her off and I will go do a second workout of the day. So today, so far, it was just hamstrings and calves, and then later we'll do another workout. We're gonna head home, we're gonna eat a quick lunch. I'll show you exactly what that is, and then we're gonna head off to see my coach for some lessons on posing, and I will check in with you a little later this afternoon.
Ready? You ready? Go get it. She likes to play soccer with a volleyball. Bring it back. Good girl, baby. Go get it. Bring it over here. Good girl. Good girl. All right, so we had to make one stop before going to my coach's. Last week, I was in Target and a young girl backed into my truck, and I felt so bad. She was so upset. And so it did a little bit of damage to the back bumper. So I'm here at the auto body shop seeing what it's gonna cost to fix. Hopefully it's not much. We'd like to not go through her insurance because she's young and it probably will make her rates super high. So I give her a ton of credit, by the way. I was in the store and she waited for me to come out. Most people would have just left. So big props to a young girl that actually did that. So we're gonna check out this estimate, see if we can get something done without our insurance going through the roof.
Okay guys, meal 3, we just finished with our coach. We are going to eat 7 ounces of trout. We switched from trout from the salmon. It's a little less fat. We are going to do 200 grams of sweet potato and 60 grams of green beans. So I'll put everything on the scale, weigh it out, and I will see you on the next stop. So as I'm heading to pick up my daughter from track and bringing her to volleyball, I wanted to update you on the car situation from earlier today. So the estimate came to a little over $1,000, and I thought it was reasonable, but I thought it might be a lot for someone that's 19, and if she has to pay my rent-a-car on top of that for 5 days, it might be a lot. So I called my friend Scott, who goes back and forth to New York, asked him if I could borrow his car next time he goes up, and he said no problem. So, thank you, Scott, and she thanks you, because when I texted her to tell her all this, she accepted it and she already sent me the money. So, it's unbelievable that, a 19-year-old handled it the way she did. And I had to send her a text back telling her that, that she handled this so well, and that most people would have just left that day. And I don't know if I told you that my daughter was with us that day. And when the girl was getting so emotional and crying, my daughter started to cry, and I'm like trying to calm them both down. And it was just a perfect, and I told her this, that it was just a perfect example for my daughter to see that, this girl how she did the right thing. She didn't leave, and she handled it. And, you know, I thanked her for that. And she texted me back and said, thank you so much. You just made my day. So I wanted to share that with you because, you know, I know the day started off a little bit on the negative side, but, you know, we're finding ways to get some positive in there. So we will check in. I have my meal for tonight, and we will check in for the last meal of the night when I get back from volleyball. Okay, guys, let's wrap this up. So for those that want to know exactly my diet and what I ate for the last meal that I brought to volleyball with me, it was 6 ounces of 93% lean beef, 125 grams of jasmine rice, and 60 grams of string bean. And my last meal right now, it's about 10:30, will be the overnight oats with a scoop of protein in it. And that's basically my diet. And so for the people that are wanting to follow the diet, I'll let you know what my numbers are today, and I'll put it up on the screen here. My total calories was supposed to be at 2815. They were at 2784, so a little below. Carbs were supposed to be at 315. They're at 314. Fats were at 68. They should have been at 75, so a little low there. Protein was at 224, and it should have been at 220. So overall, solid day. So this morning, I told my wife, I really don't even want to do this video today. And she said, just, you know, be honest about it. And that's what I did. I just was honest with you today, how I was feeling. I hope you guys liked the video. If you did, please like and subscribe. It really helps the channel out a lot. And, you know, make a comment if that's what you'd like to do. It was a good day. It got better. I know it started off a little bit depressing, but overall, it was a good day. And until next week, be kind to one another. You never know what someone else is going through today. I'll see you then.